What's good? What's good? It's the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we are going to talk about Jaron, Ennis, and Vergil Ortiz, as it is look like they have had a verbal agreement to a fight, which is good news or whatnot. I guess you can say that. And it's the reason why I say I guess, but I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the article, and then let's I'll drop my opinion. Let's talk about it. Alright, so shout out to secondsout.com. It says Jaron Ennis agrees to a fight with 95% knockout ratio next. Jaron Ennis looks to set his toughest test of his career. Boots was last in action in November when he defended his IBF welterweight title against mandatory challenger Karen Chawanka. It was an underwhelming performance from Ennis, who retained his belt by unanimous decision to extend his unbeaten record to 33-0. In the immediate aftermath, there was talk that he may move up from 147 to compete at super welterweight in order to get the best out of his abilities, and it seems that is about to become a reality after his next fight was reported. According to Boxing Scene, a verbal agreement has been reached out for Ennis to take on the interim WBC super welterweight champion Vergil Ortiz at 154 pounds as a part of the Riyadh season event due to take place in Saudi Arabia on February 22nd. Ortiz has an unbeaten record with 22-0, with 21 of those wins coming by way of knockout. The only time he has been the distance came in his last fight, when he recovered from 2 knockdowns to defeat Sergey Boacek by the majority decision. If Boots is able to defeat Ortiz, it could secure him a long-craved showdown with Terrence Crawford, who has been recently linked to a bout against Ortiz himself. Crawford was the last in action in August when he stepped up to 154 pounds to defeat Israel Madrimov and win the WBA welterweight title. Official confirmation on the bout between Ennis and Ortiz is expected soon, with Crawford set to be an extremely interested spectator as he looks for an opponent to return into the ring against in 2025. All right, let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, this is definitely a fight that I would love to see. I definitely, I wanted to. We wanted to see the fight at 147, and the fact that it's taking place at 154 is just as good, because both fighters seem. It seems like both fighters will be more comfortable at that weight, or whatever the situation may be. Both fighters are coming off of a less than spectacular performance. Vergil Ortiz, arguably, a lot of people thought that he lost his last fight. And Jaron Ennis, who won his fight, didn't do it in a dominant fashion as we might have hoped. A lot of people felt like Jaron Ennis got hit too much in this fight or whatnot. It is what it is. I've always felt like Vergil Ortiz style is made for Jaron Ennis to look good against, and I definitely would still go with my pick with Jaron Ennis against Vergil Ortiz. I don't know if he might stop him. I mean, but I definitely feel like both of them possess the power to stop each other. But I definitely feel like Jaron Ennis would have an easier time with Vergil Ortiz than he did with Karen Chawanka. Why? Because Karen Chawanka's style is very hard to. Vergil Ortiz is coming to fight. And that's one thing about it. It's nothing tricky, nothing too fancy about Vergil Ortiz. He's a guy that comes forward and throws hard punches the entire night. Where Karen Chawanka, his style is very slick, very slippery. You have to be, you can't. The fight is not gonna come to you. You're not, the fight is not gonna come to you like how Vergil Ortiz would. And with Jaron Ennis' style, guys like Vergil Ortiz, their style, like he in order for him to look good, he has to have a fighter to come forward, kind of like I'll give you an example, right? Guillermo Rigondeaux. Guillermo Rigondeaux is the type of fighter, right? If he fights someone that's a boxer, that's an outboxer, man, that's gonna be the most boring fight you've ever seen. But if he fights somebody that doesn't care, that just gonna come in the front door and throw punches, then the fight, that means he'll be forced to fight, and he'll have opportunities that he doesn't have to create. They're going to be given to him, and he's more likely to throw punches. Maybe I probably shouldn't have used Guillermo Rigondeaux, because Erislandy Lara, that's what I should have said, because Guillermo Rigondeaux was still I love Guillermo Rigondeaux, especially in his prime, but I don't know about that. But Erislandy Lara, I'll use that as an example. Perfect example. Erislandy Lara versus Terrell Gausha was not an exciting, fan-friendly fight, right? Somebody that's going to outbox, or that's a boxer that's not just going to come forward or whatnot, that's going to make that, you know, he has to create openings. Erislandy Lara, he has to create openings. That's going to, you know, kind of make for it not so stellar, doesn't really make Erislandy Lara look impressive. Whereas when he fights guys like Jared Hurd, who's going to come forward and throw punches, that then makes an exciting fight, right? Guys like Canelo Alvarez, it made for an entertaining matchup, right? Well, I feel like that's the same way with Jaron Ennis. Whereas though he's a little bit more exciting than Erislandy Lara, his style is more so set to set traps than create openings. And meaning that, like, a guy that comes forward like Vergil Ortiz will fall into his traps, so Jaron Ennis doesn't have to really just create openings in himself. So I just always felt like Vergil Ortiz's style is made for Jaron to boost Ennis, bottom line. I definitely, but see, the thing about now, the reason why I had said, well, I guess this is a good fight, because it's one of those, these are one of those fights that I kind of wish a title was on the line for. I just think that would make that fight, that would add the spice and make it that more interesting, with two big names. I just feel like I just wish that this fight would have had a world title on the line, but I get what I can take. Shout out to Turkey. If he gonna make the fight happen, then I get what I can take. I do feel like they are at both Jaron boosts Ennis if he decides to move up to 154, and definitely Vergil Ortiz. They're at a weight class where the names are not popular, but it's a dangerous weight class. And 154 has actually been like that for some years now. It's not a lot of like people that don't really know boxing will say that, when Jermell Charlo was reigning at 154, like they'll say, oh, he didn't fight no big names, but a lot of those mixed great fighters with popularity, because their names were not as popular, they automatically assume that they were not dangerous fighters. But 154 has been like this for a while now, and with all the talent that's at 154, 147 is no longer the front runner of the division. The front runner division, it's not anymore. All the fighters from that has either retired or moved up. I can go down a list of just dangerous fighters at 154, which, as a matter of fact, I will do. I mean, just at 154 alone, right? Here are all the names that I have for you, right? And I'm talking about dangerous fighters. Now, if you don't know these fighters, I mean, then you need to do your homework. But all the top dangerous threats at 154, big names at 150. Well, even if they're not big names, just the threats at 154. You got you got Sebastian Fundora, Vergil Ortiz, Errol Spence, Sergey Boacek, Israel Madrimov, Xander Zayas, Charles Conwell. Guys that don't know Charles Conwell, he was actually an Olympian. He actually fought my boy Zeke, I think it was in New Mexico or whatever, but he's an Olympian. Jesus Ramos Jr., who I believe actually beat Erickson Lubin. I don't know how they gave that fight to Erickson Lubin, but Jesus Ramos Jr., Terrence Crawford, I don't know what Jermell Charlo was doing. I don't know even when he comes back. I don't know if he is going to come back at 154 or not. So I don't know if I should put Jermell Charlo in the mix of this or not. It just depends on his next move. But you got Erickson Lubin. You got Bakram, the dude that just knocked out Tim Tszyu. You got that dude. You got Tim Zoo in himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, all those are just dangerous names and dangerous fighters in that weight class. And now to add Jaron Ennis in the mix, goodness gracious, 154 is stacked, all right? Listen, I'm all for this fight. The division is so stacked, it's like 140. It's so crammed, we have to get these fights in, right? So I'm all for it, man. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?